Hello, Shatling. You've been clicker training wrong. Now, I'm no clicker training expert, but I am autistic. And my biggest special interest is psychology. I also have a little bit of knowledge that I've retained since my high school AP Psych class, okay? Now, again, I'm not a professional, but using the limited knowledge that I have witnessed a phenomenon in the clicker training community, and it kind of bothers me because so many people don't know how to actually clicker train. And I'm not gonna pretend to know exactly how it works. Like I said, I'm no authority figure, but I know enough, and I'm gonna educate you, so sit down. Sit down, take out your textbooks, okay? Everybody listen up, let's quiet down, class. I'm gonna teach you how to actually clicker train. And I am not going to rely on just my memory, which is that of a goldfish. I'm going to use a source from the internet as well to back up my claims. So the exact phenomenon that I'm talking about when I say that people are clicker training incorrectly is something similar to this. Notice how I didn't accompany the click with anything? Now, that clicking sound might have made you feel good regardless. I'm in that same boat. I just like the sound of clicking. I think it's cool. I get a little bit of happiness just by hearing the sound. But that's not clicker training. A video where something is occurring and there are also clicks scattered throughout randomly, not being accompanied by any positive stimulus, is not clicker training. That's just a video with clicks randomly assorted throughout. So, in order to actually clicker train, you need to pair the sound with a positive stimulus. That way, your brain associates the sound with that positive stimulus. And this is going to condition the response to the positive stimulus, except instead of requiring the actual positive stimulus, you are going to start responding to the click. Now, the classic example of this is Pavlov's dogs. And what Pavlov did is he would ring a bell before feeding his dogs. And after a while, wait, was it a bell? I think it was a bell. And after a while, he would ring the bell and the dogs would start salivating, even with no food. Notice how there was a positive stimulus to accompany the bell, and that was the food. And after a while, the food wasn't even necessary to elicit that response from the dogs, which was salivating. So that nicely encapsulates the idea that I'm trying to convey here. Now, let me pull up the article that I was talking about to further explain to you how to engage in clicker training, whether it be you getting clicker training your girlfriend, etc. Anyone you want to clicker train, I'm going to give you some tips for how to do it properly. So this article says a guide to clicker training pets. It is referring to the dog sort of pet, but this can apply to any pet. You get what I'm saying. In clicker training, you mark good behaviors by clicking the clicker the instant they happen, and then reward the animal. So this is one distinction that I noticed. From what I can understand, there are two types of clicker training. One of them is just trying to elicit a response. Hello, this is Editing Keewi. This is called classical conditioning. I did a bit more research on this after filming, because I could tell that I wasn't quite getting my logic right here. For example, with Pavlov's dogs. Pavlov did not wait for a certain action to reinforce. He just rung the bell, which ended up eliciting the response of salivating. There was no positive behavior that he was trying to reinforce in the dogs. However, different articles such as this one, when they talk about clicker training, they also mention good behaviors. You wait for a good behavior, then you reinforce it with the click and then the treat. Editing Keewi again, this one is operant conditioning. And if you want to learn more about it, I'll put a screenshot from a website that I found. So, from what I can understand, this gives you two options. Either you can choose to sort of condition your pet using a click and then a treat when they do something that is favorable, or you can disregard the good behavior and just go for the goal of eliciting a response from a clicker. Does that make sense? This article is talking about the good behavior, keep that in mind. The reward can be a food treat, pets, praise, or anything else the animal enjoys. This is also very crucial. It has to be positive stimulus. Now, you have a lot of options. That can be verbal praise, that can be an actual treat, you know, anything that is considered a positive stimulus, anything that is considered good by the recipient, that elicits joy or gratitude or any positive emotion. The clicker is used as a conditioned reinforcer, a cue that something good is coming. You hear that? So it's not just, ooh, fun, happy click. That is true. That's how I feel. But that's not clicker training. In order to clicker train, the clicker becomes a cue that something good is coming because it is backed up by positive reinforcement. Positive stimulus. Clicker training works by getting your pet to expect something enjoyable, like a treat, in return for doing something you ask. You use the clicker so that your pet will associate the treat with the clicking noise. Does that make sense, my fellow lesbians? I feel like that article did a really good job of summing up what I was trying to say. Clicker training, oftentimes, lacks the positive stimulus that is supposed to come right during the click or directly after it. Oh, by the way, little detail, the positive stimulus has to come, like I said, during or after the click. Soon after. It can't come before. Does that make sense? This reminds me of that one clip. Do you remember? Okay, I just rewatched it to make sure I'm getting my facts right. There's this clip of Morgpie, this streamer, and she has a sub on stream for some reason. An individual that is on all fours crawling around with a tail. Not sure how that's allowed on Twitch. And then, oh my gosh, the order of these events is crazy. She first clicks, where's my clicker? She goes like this, twice for some reason, before doing anything. Then she gives a command, which is place. The person crawls over to their, I think it's like a doggy bed on the side, and then starts going on their phone out of boredom. And then like 30 seconds after the click, she just tosses a treat over there as they're already scrolling on their phone, just completely distracted and not even paying attention. What kind of abomination is this? What kind of cultural appropriation of the clicker training lifestyle? This is not what me and my puppy girl peers stand for. This is unacceptable. But that just made me giggle and I had to talk about it. It is the perfect encapsulation of what I'm talking about when I say that some people don't clicker train properly. Although, that's more egregious. That is super egregious. That's one of the more evil examples that I've seen. Anyway, Twin, I've been yapping for too long. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to be kind to yourself and take care of yourself and follow my Twitch, okay? Also join my Discord if you're 18 or older. If you like Jesus Christ, I can't talk today. If you like clicker training, you're gonna fit right in, I promise you. Okay? Bye, Twin. Mwah.